Well, welcome to my studio. Today I'm working on a little Provence scene, a little bistro table and glasses of wine, and I showed you the full painting in the first frame of my video. I'm working on the Bougainvillea now. This I'm using mixtures of permanent rose plus white. And this has very little white in it. This is mainly just the permanent rose. This just makes a beautiful hot pink. This is one of those colors that it has an intensity that I can't mix with our double primary palette, so I just use some special colors from time to time to get the vibrant intensity of color that I want and that my collectors have come to expect in my paintings. When I first began painting, I had a collector bought I'd gone into a gallery in Santa Fe, and this was the second painting that they sold. It was a very big painting of the Santa Barbara Mission Courtyard in California. His name was Ed Marhanka, has become a very dear friend over the years, has collected several of my paintings and Jack's paintings. And he wrote us after he bought the painting, and he said, "I just want to tell you this painting just makes me so happy. And I just think that Mickey's paintings are just billboards of happiness." Well, that name stuck. Jack said, "Oh my gosh, what a wonderful slogan." And so we wrote Ed back and asked could we use that in our marketing. And he said, by all means, yes. And so Jack said, "Well, tell you what, I'll make you the captain of Team Senkarik." So Ed is our captain of our Team Senkarik family. And our Team Senkarik is everyone who has purchased one of my paintings, books, note cards. We just make them all part of just an exclusive little group that we give preferred treatment to. They come to me for a commission, they get bumped to the front of the line, and just as my collectors become friends over the years. It's just really wonderful. God has certainly blessed me. Anyway, I'm here. This is again that permanent rose. This has more white in it. And bougainvilleas are wonderful. They have these beautiful long draping tendrils with the flowers are actually not called flowers, they're called bracts. The flowers are kind of little puffy, rounded bracts, and within them are the little flower, which is actually white. It's just very, very tiny. So when somebody talks about the flowers on a bougainvillea, they're not talking about the colored part. They're talking about the little white flowers within that colored part. Now these come out so far that they catch the sunlight. And then some of these back here are going to be in shadow. My light's coming from the upper left. And then I'm going to have one of those long arms coming out there. And you can see where those cast shadows across that shutter. My shutters are a mixture of cobalt blue plus white. Again, that's a different blue that I pull out from time to time. It's perfect for the blue shutters in Provence and Greece. It's just, again, there's certain colors that we just use the straight tube colors from time to time to get an intensity that you can't get otherwise. Now this painting is on a gallery wrap canvas, and the image goes up over the sides of the canvas. So I'm covering the top edge of the canvas. And I'll go around the side. Now I attached the canvas to cardboard so that, and you can see the cardboard extends out. Well, you may not be able to see it there, but on the screen, but the cardboard extends out around the painting about 2 inches, so it makes it very easy then to handle this painting while it's wet. Now I'm going to have hollyhocks coming up here, so I don't want my bougainvillea to come down real far on this side. Now my foliage on the bougainvillea is a very cool green. I don't mean cool because that's really neat or anything. I mean it's a cool green because it has more blue in it. And this is viridian green plus just a tiny, tiny bit of cadmium yellow medium and then white. And the leaves on a bougainvillea are a very dark, cool green. So I come here and I start working around the bracts, the masses of color. You can see this is a square brush. This is what I call a bright brush. Now if you see, there's also a brush that's a square brush, but it's called a flat, and they have longer bristles. And to me, the bright brush is easier for me to handle. And I can use the corner to make little brush strokes. You can see I'm putting, with this big brush, I can put those smaller leaves in just by using the corner of the brush. And I just work around my color. I always put the flower color first. I block my flowers in. Well, most flowers, there are some exceptions, but the majority of flowers, I block in flowers first, leaves last. And this is so that you can see, well, let me do something here. You can, when I come back in and start painting around the pinks, you can see my brush picks up a little bit of that pink on the brush. If you were to paint the leaves first and then tried to come back and do the flowers, your brush would pick up that green and it makes your flower color muddy. You can go back in and lay little bits of color here and there, but to do the full mass, it would make your pinks dirty. And the secret to clean color on the canvas is a clean brush. I constantly am wiping my brush. I use a lot of tissue, and we just buy the cheapest tissue that you can get at the grocery store. And I will buy a bunch. It comes in packages of 36 rolls, and I'll buy 4 or 5 packages at one time. So I'm sure people either think that I'm running a hotel or have a problem. In fact, Jack was, he would be terrible. We'd get up to the cash register and have all that tissue, and he'd wait till somebody was around us, and then he'd say, "Oh, Mickey, you forgot the kaopectate." So he was fun. Fun man. Made life very interesting. Just a joy. Very, very blessed to got to spend 26 years with him. Yeah, and I'll spend eternity with him in heaven. Jack taught me to paint, and his paintings are very photorealistic, and actually he did best with very muted, foggy scenes, rainy scenes, just did a beautiful job with that. I could never paint that subtly. I like to blast the color out there. So each artist is just an individual. And when Jack taught me to paint, he said, "I don't want to put my hand on your paintbrush. I don't want to influence your style. I want to just teach you the basics of painting and then let you develop into your individual artist, to develop your voice." And so my voice became colorful flowers and lots of architecture, and architecture dripping in flowers, he would say. I also make a few strokes, a few leaves of just phthalo blue plus white. Gives a little variation in color. Also, that's a very cool mixture, so it adds some coolness into the depths of the flowers. Now you can see I'm coming back in and I'm adding some color on top of the green, and what I do, I get quite a bit of paint on my brush, and then I can just lay the color on there. But I have to be very careful. You can see how my brush has picked up some of the green. So I have to keep wiping my brush and then come back and I can lay more of that color on. You just gently lay it on there. Again, I'm using that corner of my brush to get those little round bracts on the bougainvillea. Now, these long arms of the bougainvillea are, let me get a little white here and mix into this. I'm going to make some of those long arms coming out. And they're just almost vines. Vines I think are squiggly, but these are just the long branches that these flowers are on. And I'm going to let the sunlight hit this one as it comes forward. There's another one here that I'm going to let the sunlight hit. And they just extend out. And when the wind's blowing, those arms just wave in the wind. I love bougainvilleas, but they are very, very thorny. You do not want to climb up in one. As a little girl, I grew up in Florida, and my mother would trim the bougainvilleas, and then it was up to us kids to haul them down to the burn pile. Oh, and that was a laborious task, and we would wear big gloves, and I'd still end up with just scratches all over my arms, and just they're very scratchy, but they are beautiful. Very beautiful. Gosh, when they're in full bloom, it's just awesome. Okay, we're going to have another one come. I'm going to have another little arm come right here in front of our shutter. And by bringing things in front of others, it's like bringing this arm of the bougainvillea, this tendril, in front of the shutter. That helps give the impression of depth in the painting. I want that a little bit brighter. The sunlight's catching that. And then we're going to have a few little bracts right there that just cast those shadows. In fact, I'm going to make that arm just a little bit longer. Bring it out past here. I want it to curl. Yeah, I want it to curl up. So there we go. I'm going to have a little more, a few little bracts there. Now I'll climb up on my stool and paint that top part in a minute. A little step stool that I get on. But I can just use the corner of that brush and make my little leaves. Little one, just a couple little leaves right here in front of that dark. And again, that gives the feeling of depth. Just kind of let your brush dance on the canvas. I can hear it. I have my tissue on a little wire hanging from my little culinary cart that my glass palette rests on. That's what you hear rattling. When I pull off the tissue, it just rattles. I appreciate you watching my YouTube videos. Please always feel free to ask questions. You can ask them in the comments section. I also show the complete step-by-step process of this painting on my blog. So if you want to follow the process from start to finish, just go to my blog. The link is in the description below. It's also on the final frame of the YouTube video. And it's fun. You can subscribe to my blog to where you'll get an email every time that I make a new post. It's just, you go on the, when you open up the blog on the first frame, I think there's I don't know, you get on there, you'll see where to subscribe. But anyway, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.